Yabama this year na Accra Ediaba Royal Television. So another Royal Cassia boy Yakopia wo Accra Technical University ni na eye dwumadi friend Youstart omopa ho entoma aban mu mpanifo ekukudam ebepiase nsem dodo na no mode tuja ni nyina dwumadi ne botai enyina enise wo mo boa amanyuma ebuso ama mabunu nso yenya bi ayamanchiri mo mo ba nempo wo adwuma bi ekopotwa bia na wa start ye mbeboa no mahyemu kena se de beya wo nso ho betimi ahenha wo ewo abrabomu eba sa no Royal TV yekopie mu ekohwe adwumadie no se ne sifa kɔ ye mpanifo kukuda maban mu mpanifo mu baaye omukasa bi omo de tuja no nyina no ebusia na kai se mide ne de eba akopɛ nana ya bia ma yenkwe na yenkɔhwe se de adwumadie no sifa kɔ enra eda.
I bring you special greetings from the Honorable Ken Oforiatta as already stated. And I am honored to stand with you today as we jointly celebrate the press launch of the Youstart District Entrepreneurship Program and the opening of the Youstart Ghana Jobs and Skill Application Portal. And remember that we have 3 different models under the Youstart. We have the district, which is what we are launching today, but we also have the commercial model, which is strictly with the banks. So that one you apply through the banks where you save. And then we have the Youstart Grace, which works in partnership with faith-based organizations in our country. So before I delve into the contents of the speech, I wish to say a special thank you for your patience to all the stakeholders. We started from the early part of the year till now. And we've been looking forward to this launch. So we want to say thank you for your patience and for agreeing to go on this journey with us. It has not been easy, but it has to be done because the youth of this great nation of ours deserve a very beautiful future. A future where we can unleash the nascent talents and skills of the youth to create economic opportunities for everybody. All this work is for the youth of this great nation, our greatest asset that we hope to harness. I may have announced the concept of the Youstart in 2021 mid-year budget statement, but it took a lot of motivated people to help us get to this point. As such, I want to use this opportunity to say a very special thank you, especially to the World Bank. This particular launch is on the support and strength of the World Bank, who has given us generously grants to support the Youstart program. Please, let's give it to them, to the World Bank, for their assistance on the Youstart program. And also to the Youstart Secretariat at the Ministry of Finance, the Ghana Enterprises Agency, the National Entrepreneurship and Innovation Program, the National Youth Authority and the National Youth Employment Agency, and also the NAPCO Secretariat, because we are working with them to also transition as many of the NAPCO beneficiaries as possible onto the Youstart program. And all the people over the past year who have dedicated their time to taking Youstart across the country. Ladies and gentlemen, truly today's event represents a vision fulfilled. In the 2017 budget statement, we mentioned the government would collaborate with private sector organizations and development partners to implement decent employment creation programs, particularly for unemployed young graduates. That statement seems dated today, not through the passage of time, but through progress. Crucially, our progress is culminated in the launch of the Youstart District Entrepreneurship Program, a dedicated service offering aimed at easing constraints for existing and aspiring young entrepreneurs across the 216 districts of our country to create the 1 million jobs for the youth in the next 3 years. And as we speak, in partnership with the Minister for Local Government, we have visited all the 216 district assemblies and municipal assemblies on Youstart engagements. Additionally, some beneficiaries who are committed to the program will be provided with financial support to cover working capital requirements, business expansion, and acquisition of equipment or machinery of some selected program beneficiaries who go through the program successfully. And through the district Youstart program, government intends to offer comprehensive technical support through training on financial literacy, entrepreneurship, and business management to support the creation of sustainable businesses across the country. And we heard the testimony of the pilot beneficiaries who speak to their experience from such engagements. The use of an open and transparent application portal also ensures that benefits of the Youstart will be available to all young people of Ghana. And I'm counting on the Ghana Enterprises Agency, the NEIP, and all the other implementation agencies to ensure that all applicants have equal chance of success under the Youstart program. There will be many phases with this Youstart intervention. At the middle of this year, we implemented the pilot phase and was successful in supporting 46 individual beneficiaries and 8 groups and associations with membership between 6 and 45 persons across the country. In this first real phase of the intervention, under the Ghana Jobs and Skills Project funded by the World Bank, over 50,000 beneficiaries will benefit from entrepreneurship training, and those that are committed and intentional will have the opportunity to apply for grant funding to support their businesses. Looking back at almost 6 consecutive years of government, we are proud that this government has leveraged its policy agenda to create opportunities not for privileged few, but for all Ghanaians willing to make the most for themselves. Our intentions have benefited the most youth in this country's history, and through initiatives such as Youstart, we will support nationwide the youth of this nation who want to succeed on their own merits, no matter their class or background. In truth, we cannot turn around our economy if opportunities are centralized in the capital. Our economic restoration demands we do things differently. That will involve sharing prosperity and the chance of progress to everyone. This is why the Ministry of Local Government and Rural Development, headed by the Honorable Dan Botre, will work closely with all the implementing partners to ensure a fair distribution of this support. And so we are going to have a special desk in every district or municipal assembly to support the application processes, the training, the monitoring, evaluation, and even the recovery processes where necessary. We believe that once we continue to embrace the vision of creating an entrepreneurial society, we know that we can make all individuals and their families better off across living standards and quality of life. Ladies and gentlemen, in outlining this policy agenda, I am not complacent about the challenges that confront us today. Indeed, in the last 5 years as Minister of Finance, sometimes it feels like once you start to solve one problem, another emerges. I hope you know I'm speaking for my boss. I have not been minister for 5 years. So life is tough for many people all over the world, and Ghana is no different. But we and the fellow ministers gathered here today, under the President's direction, are more than committed to ensure that we come out of this together with one of the strongest and most resounded and most resourced youth this nation has ever seen. It will not be easy, but we need you to work with us, pray with us, and support us as we do same for you. But amid all these challenges, we believe that the worst thing we can do is to give up on ourselves and our nation. The President was emphatic about this when he mentioned in his most recent briefing on the economy, and I quote, "I have total confidence in our ability to work our way out of our current difficulties. We are not afraid of hard work. We will triumph, as we have triumphed many times before," unquote. Ladies and gentlemen, that defiance and commitment towards securing a strong economic recovery forms the fundamental reason we have gathered today to launch an initiative that gives our people the confidence to pursue their ambitions. In the end, a young person located either in the center of Accra or Techiman in the Bono East, as we just heard, or in the remotest part of the north, must rest assured that through Youstart, they will not be left behind. The vision we must all rally behind or rally around is to support initiatives such as Youstart, is to ensure that the next generation of Ghanaians grow up with unbroken economic stability. We are hopeful of building an economy that allows and encourages the participation of the greater mass of the people to be part of the economic progress of Ghana. The achievement of such transformed society lies ahead of us, and I look forward to working alongside each of you to realize these ambitions. I thank you, and may God richly bless you.
It's really a great pleasure for me to be here today to represent the World Bank at the official opening of the Youstart Ghana Jobs and Skills Application Portal. This name, Youstart, is probably one of the things I've heard most in the last year or so, and I'm glad I did because I know how important it is for the country. So let me start by first congratulating the entire team at the Ministry of Finance, at the GEA, the NEIP, and all of the stakeholders for their tireless work on the Youstart program. This, like I said, is an important milestone towards implementation of this ambitious flagship program, which aims at building an entrepreneurial nation and creating at least 1 million jobs for the youth in the next 3 years. It goes without saying that such an important milestone would not have been possible without the support and inputs from several key stakeholders within and outside government, and I would like to congratulate you all. Ladies and gentlemen, I want to underscore a few important points about youth employment. Firstly, Ghana faces a pressing youth employment challenge. The UN population forecast, for instance, that between 2021 and 2040, 10 million Ghanaian youth will enter the labor force. Secondly, the youth are entering the labor market with increasing levels of education. Between 2005, 2006 and 2016-17, unemployment rates for youth aged 15 to 35 increased from 11.1% to 12.6%, despite average education attainment among the youth rising from 8.5 to 9.6 years over the same period. The key challenge for the country is ensuring that there are sufficient and better quality jobs for this large number of educated youth entering the labor market. The Youstart program is coming at a good time to contribute to address this youth unemployment challenge. Ladies and gentlemen, the World Bank Ghana Country Partnership Framework for 2022 to 2026 emphasizes on support for economic transformation with the creation of more quality jobs for youth through skills and entrepreneurial development, access to finance, investment climate reform, and quality infrastructure. Currently, the World Bank is working with the government on a new project that would support some aspects of the Youstart program, following detailed consultations and design to improve the screening criteria and targeting of beneficiaries, while at the same time focusing on strategic sectors of the economy that hold potential for expansion, growth, and job creation for the youth as a long-term solution. The World Bank is also supporting the implementation of projects that aim at addressing and removing some of the binding constraints on youth employment. For instance, the Ghana Jobs and Skills Project supports skills development, upgrade, and jobs for Ghanaians. The project helps the government to better respond to the imperative of creating more and decent jobs for the youth and rapidly growing labor force. So, Honorable Minister, ladies and gentlemen, the success of the Youstart program will depend largely on the diligent as well as transparent implementation of the program. Additionally, I entreat the implementation partners, including the Ministry of Finance, Youstart Secretariat, GA, NEIP, participating financial institutions, and all key stakeholders to be open to feedback during the implementation and remain flexible to adjust and course-correct aspects of the program as and when needed. On this note, let me end my statement and express once again the World Bank Group's sincere appreciation to the event organizers and all partners, especially the Ministry of Finance, Ministry of Employment and Labor Relations, Ministry of Youth and Sports, Ministry of Industry, NEIP, and of course the GA. I thank you very much. Medasi. Thank you.
It gives me great pleasure to join you at the official launch of the Youstart project and the opening of the Ghana Jobs and Skills application portal. This is certainly a critical intervention to address and respond to the nation's youth unemployment demands. The launch of the Youstart project also underscores the importance of working together to pursue policies and programs that will drive competitiveness and prosperity for all. Ladies and gentlemen, globally, the issue of unemployment is far greater concern to many governments, and therefore it is imperative to create opportunities through investment, education, and skills development, leading to financial inclusion in addressing the problem. The World Bank paints a gloomy picture by estimating that there are about 200 million youth unemployment worldwide, and will require a total of 600 million jobs over the next 15 years to maintain global employment rates. Considering the enormous effects of unemployment on socioeconomic development as well as heightened insecurity, it is not surprising that the government has prioritized youth employment as a key strategy to accelerate development in Ghana. For instance, my ministry's effort of transforming the economy depends primarily on adding value to Ghana's natural resources and enhancing the competitiveness of local production, which can be achieved through industrialization. To this end, the ministry has identified and targeted specific sectors for support on the basis of export potential, domestic market requirements, and increased employment as well as income, particularly for the youth and women. The Ghana Jobs and Skills Project, GJSP, is yet another important intervention that will prepare the youth to start their own businesses. The GJSP is a product of the strong partnership between the government of Ghana and the World Bank. It is a multi-sectoral intervention designed to support the government's agenda for skills development and job creation. This is expected to help remedy the growing unemployment challenges in the country because of the effects of the COVID-19 pandemic and the worsening world economic situation. It is important to note that the project by design has reserved a special component dedicated to entrepreneurship and competitive business startup grants to beneficiaries, particularly to support women, youth, and persons with disability. The obvious results will be to provide the relevant skills and funding to enable the youth start their own businesses and even create more jobs. With the launch of Youstart and opening of the portal, I will encourage the Ghanaian youth to apply and participate in this project, especially those who want to start their own businesses. Please do not sit at home and allow the expiration date to hit and start running after protocol. the opportunity is available for everybody who is interested. I'm certain and optimistic that successful beneficiaries will be well equipped with the entrepreneurial skills and funding to start their own businesses. Indeed, it was heartwarming listening to the pilot candidates, and I encourage them to move to the next stage, which is ensuring that their products get shelved on every available shelf in the country to be able to compete with the imported products. To conclude, let me quote Danielle H. Pink, author of the book Drive. I quote, "The secret of performance and satisfaction is a deeply human need to direct our own lives, to learn and to create new things, and to do better by ourselves and our world." I quote, unquote.
Today is a very important and a special day for many reasons for our youth of our country, and I'm glad to be part of this memorable press launch of the Youstart initiative. As a ministry responsible for setting up policies and initiatives for the youth development, this special initiative falls within our mandate for empowering the youth geared towards the nation building. The press launch of the Youstart District Entrepreneurship Program marks an important event for Ghana, given the centrality of the youth empowerment to Ghana's fortunes, and the entire Ministry of Youth and Sports is encouraged by government focus on encouraging innovation, promoting enterprise among the youth. Government is convinced that the youth entrepreneurship is a panacea to our economic development. Distinguished ladies and gentlemen, the youth within the ages of 15 to 35 form over 50% of our population, and you all agree with me that the greatest threat to our security is the gradual weakening of our very foundation that will create the opportunity for our youth to develop and to realize their full potential. That being the case, it is obvious that we have obligations and responsibility as elected government to ensure that this most valuable asset conferred on our country is given the necessary opportunity to fully develop themselves. The youth must be reoriented to understand that our country is endowed with both human and natural resources, and their future remains brighter if they are to take advantage of the abundant prospects in our country. The youth represents the diversity of our realities, skill sets, and talent, and therein lies their potential of finding solutions to our numerous challenges affecting our country. Through their unwavering resilience, vibrancy, and desire for innovation, young people, by virtue of their energy and adaptability, must move to the forefront to create new solutions to address our challenges. Distinguished ladies and gentlemen, we in the Ministry of Youth and Sports is aware of the enormous potential of our youth, and in view of this, the Ministry developed and launched an entirely new national youth policy, a framework for the youth development in Ghana that seeks to harness the potential of our youth to enable them to contribute their quota to the development of our dear nation. One of the major challenges that the policies seek to address is to bridge the gap between the knowledge acquired by the youth and what is actually required by modern day creation of wealth and overall development. In most cases, the acquired knowledge is completely at variance with the industry requirements and the development trends. This phenomenon is very worrying, and this is what the policies seek to address. As a minister responsible for youth and youth development, I'm extremely delighted to be part of this launch of the Youstart program. Our goal as leaders must be to ensure that the youth are a better adults than we are today. I wish to take this opportunity to encourage the youth to place themselves to take advantage positions, so to leverage on the created opportunities such as this initiative. Distinguished ladies and gentlemen, my ministry will do everything possible to support the successful implementation of the Youstart program. The youth of Ghana should be rest assured that the government of Ghana will do whatever it takes to ensure that the youth have options and hopes for the future. Distinguished ladies and gentlemen, starting from today, the youth have opportunity to go online and apply for support that can and will change their fortunes forever. They should note that this is just the beginning and there is more to come. I want to use this opportunity to thank His Excellency the President of the Republic, Nana Addo Dankwa Akufo-Addo, for his vision and the good people of Ghana for supporting this youth initiative, Youstart initiative, as this will greatly contribute in realizing the dream of our Ghanaian youth. Thank you so much. May God bless our homeland Ghana and make us great and strong.
Ministers of State, MMDC, government CEOs, the World Bank Country Director, associations, friends from the media, ladies and gentlemen, good afternoon once again. Good afternoon. Today is a very important and special day for us at the Ministry of Employment and Labor Relations. At the ministry, we recognize that talents, creativity, imagination, energy, and sense of enterprise of our youth are central to the growth and transformation of Ghana. This is why the sector wholeheartedly supports and associates itself with the Youstart initiative. We are confident that this initiative will create millions of employment and entrepreneurial opportunities for our teeming youth to harness their fullest potential. There is no denying the fact that this crop of young people are beneficiaries of urbanization and globalization with easier access to credible information. As a result, the youth today are prepared to take risks, a necessary ingredient for entrepreneurship and employment creation. However, the exuberance of these young people would have to be guided through training, retraining, coaching, mentorship, and the creation of decent opportunities to harness their potential for positive development outcomes